Life is pretty demanding, isn't it? We're busy, distracted, and we're challenged, and we suffer. We often feel like there's something missing, and we conclude that life must have a higher purpose, something that transcends the day-to-day life. But is it really necessary to find this higher purpose? And if it is, what is it? Is it the same for everyone? That's what we'll discover in this video. Could some higher purpose bring us the joy and the fulfillment that we seek? It's pretty obvious that I've been around a while, and over the decades, I've gained a lot of experiences and learned a few lessons. And I've had successes and failures. I've been an entrepreneur. I've created businesses. I've worked for others. Along the way, I've pondered life's meaning from a lot of different angles. And now, well, I'm sharing some of the things that I've learned with you. Do I have an answer to this question of purpose? Maybe, but you may as well. My life journey has taken me to where I am, but your life journey is just as important and has just as much merit. Without question, our world is complicated, and thoughts about purpose get gobbled up in the confusion of life. Very often the world dictates who and what we are, grabbing control of our lives and pulling us in this direction or that, sometimes in all directions at once. The result can be an emptiness. So what do? Well, very often we keep our nose to the grindstone. We fight like heck to stay the course, to keep plugging along. We just want to get through the day or maybe get to the weekend. This is totally understandable, but we still wonder if having a purpose in life could be the answer. First, let's stop and look at what purpose is. In a very practical way, our jobs, our responsibilities are our purpose. We're working for food, housing, and necessities, fairly noble in and of themselves. But the voids usually aren't filled. Weeks go by, sometimes years go by, and we get lost in the ever-consuming demands that life presents. And any thoughts about a higher purpose? Well, they kind of get shuffled away for another day. There are problems to solve, and we focus on one finish line after another, and finally focusing on the final finish line, which is often retirement. And perhaps in retirement, somehow, some way, happiness and fulfillment will just find us. But the truth is, it probably won't. Not automatically, anyway. It takes a change of mindset. It takes a shift in attitude and approach. And besides, don't you deserve to be fulfilled now, long before retirement? I think so. Do you feel as though life as it is now leaves you little room for fulfillment and meaning? Let's step back for a bit. How did we get to this point? To the point where we know basically how to make a living, but not necessarily how to really live. We are playing with only half the playbook. Over hundreds, over thousands of years, humanity has constructed basic human tenets. They have afforded us the opportunity to get along, to work with each other, and contribute to society. Philosophers, teachers, and thinkers, religious seekers, holy books, lawmakers have all refined and formalized these ideas to give us the basic framework that we have today. Here's a look at just a few of these basic tenets. Do no harm. Honor individual freedoms and human dignity. Be honest. Play fair. Show compassion. Personal responsibility, the rule of law, all important precepts to live our lives in groups, in societies, with a reasonable expectation of safety, supporting mutual respect and collective harmony. As societies grew larger and larger, becoming large cities and regions and countries, that's how we eventually got to the point where we are today, forced to kind of play along with little chance to express our individuality or to feel that sense of importance. We fit in, we support the economy, we pay our bills, we raise children to, repeat the whole process over again. We're basically coerced into demanding jobs that we probably never would have chosen on our own. Is this wrong? Well, I'm not saying that it's wrong, but is it the best thing for us? We get back to the question at the beginning of this video. Does all this provide the richness, the depth, and the fulfillment that our spiritual sides, our higher selves, need and yearn for? Frankly, no. It just doesn't. What then? We may try things like meditation, mindfulness, and other living in the moment techniques, which can provide respites from the hustle and bustle and the confusion of life. And that's fine. But by themselves, they don't stop us from wondering what we're missing and wondering if there's an answer hiding somewhere that we can't see. Does that happen to you? Let me know in the comments. The complicated, confusing, competitive mess of life leads to constant searching with way more questions than answers. And the biggest question? Where do we find meaning in our existence? How do we get past the crazy mess that we find ourselves in? Albert Camus, a French philosopher, said, "The only way to face the absurdity of life is to embrace it fully." Camus, known for his exploration of existentialism, suggests that finding meaning lies in accepting the craziness of existence and living authentically despite it. In other words, be yourself despite the challenges. But how? I found that shifting our mindset into a giving mode is a key. In a way, I'm suggesting that we stop demanding answers, which is really the getting mindset, and shift into ways of helping others. Can we call it a higher purpose? I think we could, but I don't think we really need to label it. More on that in a bit. First, let's look at ways we can make the shift. Living for the service of others. With this mindset, we recognize that there are ways that we can help. First, self-improvement. Becoming a better you and a better me can spread goodness and hope. Finding and living our passion. This is about expressing your deepest values and beliefs, living authentically. Next, being fully present at all times, being in the now, knowing that you have only this moment. And the next thing is having love relationships with family and friends. Next, there's philanthropy and volunteering. We all have something to give, and we all know people that need help. The next thing is finding faith and spiritual fulfillment. Let's go beyond the physical, the mundane aspects of everyday life. Let me know if you've tried these. Maybe you've made this your way of life. Again, with the wrong mindset, we often focus instead on our pains and injuries and diseases and the death of loved ones. Life can be a constant struggle, leading to the wish, to the hope that somehow we can leapfrog to certainty and peace. Remember Andy Rooney from 60 Minutes? I believe it was he who said the following: "Everyone wants to live at the top of the mountain, but all the happiness and growth occurs while we're climbing it." Interesting. What if the answer is to stop needing all the answers or the need to scale every peak? The trick is to let go of results. It's really kind of magical. Let go of the frustration. Instead, live with a curious mind. Live for the climb that curiosity inspires. Curiosity is enough. Questions are enough. It's not that we don't relish answers when they come. Of course we do, and we should. But it's just that it's better to conclude that our life isn't diminished by not having all the answers. In fact, it's enriched simply by having the questions and pondering the possibilities and making the climb. This mindset takes us away from the notion that everything must make perfect sense. Life is dynamic after all. The fluid nature of circumstance and challenges means that today's answers just might not be tomorrow's answers. This is liberating. Now, let's go back to the idea of higher purpose. If it exists at all, it could be simply described as a mindful, selfless seeking and a climbing and an exploration. There's no need to find treasures, rewards, acclaim, or answers. You're on the journey we call life. And this is when the magic happens and true riches just fill you up. So, can we have goals? Can we follow the dictates of society and still find peace and happiness? I say we can. It's just that our real value is found in the journey itself, not in the attainment of successes along the way. And what of the higher purpose? Well, it's not something you find. You already have it. It's you. It's you. And here's my final thought today. Thriving is not a 24/7 state of existence. Ups and downs, they're there, and they always will be. It's the journey, it's the climb, as the song says, that will make life worth living, despite the suffering and the challenges. I'll close with this quote from the philosopher Howard Thurman. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it, because the world needs people who have come alive. Share with us what's working for you or what challenges you face or anything that resonates with you. And it really doesn't matter when you see this video. Chime in. We can learn from your experiences, and I'll answer when I can. And if you're so inclined, please like and subscribe. I'd be grateful. My name is Mel Inglema, and I wish you all the best. Life can be rich, fulfilling, and purposeful. Thank you.